if you are in any shape or form at a point of your life where you're interested in what's beyond, and how can you have good relationships? How can you have intimate relationships? I never got into that point. How can you have a different fulfillment and deeper satisfaction in your life? Not just in a sense of how can you have orgasms, or how can you have better orgasms, or how can you have more orgasms, or how can you have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband? How can you have, there are those questions that are integral part of sexuality and intimacy. But if you also have the interest in how to start communicating with your body to the extent that all your communication channels are clear, healthy, strong, on a cellular level, on a physical level, emotional level, mental level, then you will start to experience that each and every one of your relationships is taking a qualitative change. I'm literally not the same person that I was a few years ago, a few months ago, yesterday. And yes, in a sense, all of us physically, biochemically, we are changing. We're different beings every single second. No 2 seconds are the same. But compared to the first 23, 4 years of my life versus the last 7, 6, 5-ish years of my life, ever since I started using the sexual energy in a more precise, more scientific, more conscious way, I have experienced personal shifts and objective shifts in my environment, in my relationships, that did not exist before. And they were not part of my reality, my field of reality. There were connections in my life that completely came out of left field. Just when I became a new person, an entire new set of people started appearing around me. And those new connections open up exponential new connections, which means within a few months, I'm physically surrounded by a different reality. So if you feel stuck, and I'm quite familiar with the feeling of being stuck. We share different experiences, but the emotional experience might be very similar. If you feel stuck, if you feel like you're self-sabotaging, if you feel like that you know better, you just don't do better for some reason, if you find yourself in addictive loops, if you find yourself in struggle, in suffering, in states of just such wicked mental health, where it really is an issue for you it's really work. It really takes an effort for you to come to zero from minus. If you're living in those states, if you don't know how to bridge that gap, if you want to do better, you just don't know how to. I'm not saying that this is the be all end all. I'm only sharing that this has worked for me. Working with the sexual energy, working with my body, working in such fashion with the orgasmic energy, learning how to sensitize my body, learning how to have a good, healthy relationship with the orgasmic energy. It was my way of healing myself from anything and everything that I wanted to. From, it was absolutely my way of reminding myself who I actually am, and being able to disconnect from the sexual landscape without shame or inferiority complex, or being able to disconnect from the dating game, being able to disconnect from the feeling of loneliness, from the feeling of fear, of wanting to find the right one and not finding the right one, and then just not having fulfilling relationships, not having an orgasm. You're talking to the lady who's been having orgasms since I was 5, and I could not have an orgasm with a partner in my relationships. Now I understand why. And at some point, I think around the porn episode, I'm going to open up about the dark side of sexual energy and what an orgasm does energetically in your field, and how it connects you to other people, and what does the porn industry do to all of us. So it is going to go into the porn section. So it doesn't mean that just because I had this relationship, or just because I had this connection, that all of my life were rosy and hippy chippy. It just means that now, looking back, holy fuck, I actually have a method that works. I actually have a way of healing myself, helping myself, building healthy connections with myself, with other versions of myself, with other timelines of myself, as well as other people. I live a life where I feel fully free, ridiculously happy, very, very well connected. The beings around me, the beautiful, beautiful people around me are giving me so much love, so much genuine kindness, so much beauty. And this was not my experience for the first decades of my life. So I was not predestined to this kind of life. It's something I've made and I've built when I started using this orgasmic energy in a conscious way. When I started using the emotional depth that this energy has opened me up to.